Well, obviously everybody knows we've got another great challenge this week, another tough road game against a very, very good football team, as we all know. And, you know, it's going to be a great challenge for us. We're going back on the road, and, you know, I feel like our team is getting the idea, you know, a little bit better of an idea of you know, playing on the road and how that, you know, the challenges of that come with, you know, these tough SEC road games. So that's good that, you know, we're starting to get a feel for that. But it's going to be a great challenge for us. Obviously, this is a very, very good football team that'll obviously challenge in the West for the SEC West championship. There's no question about that. And they got a lot of returning starters from last year's team, and so it'll be a lot of fun for us. And again, we're going to go back to work today and try to get better at what we do. This is about Auburn. It's not about Arkansas, and so we'll continue to try to improve ourselves. They just, you know, they execute extremely well, and there's no question about that. I think everybody knows, you know, they've got three very talented, you know, wide receivers that very explosive, very fast. They're very, very good with the ball in their hands after the catch. Their running game is always extremely physical. They've got big backs, and their quarterbacks are always very well coached. So, you know, we've got to play much better than we have the previous two outings to give us a chance to win. And I'm talking defensively, as we know that. And it's this is an offense that's tough to slow down. I mean, they're pretty much #1 in the league in about every category, with maybe the exception of rushing. And so they're really good at what they do. They've been in the system long enough now to have a great feel for it, and they got really good players. Arguably, probably, as I mentioned earlier, probably one of the best receiving corps, you know, in the country. And they got a quarterback who's a young guy that is really, you know, he's playing very well in the system. He's thrown for 10 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, I believe, if my memory serves me right. And, you know, just a guy that, you know, he played against a very good defense last week. And, you know, they were very productive. So just a good all-around football team, and we've got to play better. Some really good concepts in there. You know, I don't know that it's just necessarily night and day different than what everybody else does, you know, but they executed extremely well. And there's some very good concepts in there, both running the ball and throwing the ball. And but I'd say, you know, just looking at that offense over the years, the difference is that they executed, you know, as well as anybody in the country executes an offense. That was the point I was making earlier. Yeah, they've got a lot of great receivers, and they've got a new tight end, you know, a young guy that's getting used to playing, but the receivers that they've got, three or four different really good ones. Yeah, because I don't want to slight anybody. They're all good. But what they are all good at, and you can tell that there is definitely a conscious coaching effort for them to make yards after the catch. And so it's going to be huge for us to be able to, you know, tackle these guys in space, and to be able to tackle these guys and limit those yards after catch, because that's exactly where they will hurt you. And so that's going to be a big key for us. Extremely impressed. I didn't know a lot about him. You know, usually you don't know a lot about backups. Going into games, you know who they are, but you don't really know, you know, how productive they can be. I thought he did an unbelievable job on the road in a very critical game at the time of coming in and playing very, very sound and solid football. And for a guy coming off the bench and not probably expecting to play, I thought he showed an unbelievable amount of poise, and I thought he played really well. He's doing fine. He's doing fine, and he's going to practice as normal, as usual. And but he'll be excited to play, and obviously going back to Arkansas, he'll be excited to play, and he'll be ready to go. We won't know until later on in the week, but I'm not hopeful right now on Emory. I don't, you know, I'm not going to rule him out. but we are planning to play without him, which, you know, again, that's going to be our two top receivers that we're not going to play with him and Trevon. But, you know, again, I think that gives great opportunity to some other guys, you know. And it's where the Q Cars and the Trevonte Stallworths and the Quan Brays, some of those guys, D'Angelo Benton, speaking about a guy that stepped up to the plate last week. You know, those guys, it's going to be great opportunities for those guys to step up if he does not play. But I don't, you know, I won't, again, I won't, we'll keep working on it till the end of the week, but I'm not hopeful right now. Well, I just think that, you know, probably over the last 5 or 6 years, you know, we've been able to recruit the state and have some success there. And, you know, I don't think it has anything to do with the state. You know, we're going to recruit wherever we feel like, you know, there's an opportunity to have young guys that are interested in Auburn. And so with guys like Kyle and Michael, who we have, you know, from Arkansas on our roster, you know, we just show them what Auburn has to offer, you know. And again, we do have some Arkansas connections, obviously, with Gus here and some things of that nature, so that always helps. But we recruit them like we recruit, you know, anybody else from any other state. I'm trying to beat Arkansas, so I don't worry about all those outside distractions. You know, you hope they're getting better every week in terms of, you know, trusting each other and relying on each other and you know, improving as a unit. I think they are. I think this is going to be a great test, because there's going to be some things that are going to happen in this game right now that they're going to have to overcome in terms of, you know, negative things happening. That's just what this offense is going to, the pressure that it's going to put on your defense. So I think this is going to be a phenomenal test for our guys. We faced some really, really good offenses up to this point. That is 100% fact. This one right here, will, again, may be the best out of all the ones we faced. So I think it's going to be a really, really good test for our guys right now, because I think that they do feel like in the last 2 weeks progress has been made. So this will be a great test for them. For you to have the ability to win games at the end, I think that you have to have had to have done it previously. And, you know, for teams that can't quite close the door on those tight games, you know, there's a bit of doubt that probably creeps in their mind a little bit. And I don't think in the 3 years that 2.5 years that I've been here, in the games that we've played, I don't think there's any doubt that in our kids' minds, at the end of the game, if it's close, they think they can win. And I think that probably goes back to, you know, it's happened before. And so, you know, our guys, I know our guys feel that way now. I know that's how we felt the previous 2 years as well. What that is attributed to as far as years past, going back in history, you know, I don't really know. Any time any part of your football team has not been productive, it's always, you know, a concern. It's always something we're looking at, trying to figure out ways to improve it. So, you know, we know we have to improve there. You know, we know we have to improve offensively all the way around. You know, and I mean that's. So again, we got to find things that we are good at and that we can do, and we've got to do those things. But we know we need to improve that.